The deep sea is an enigmatic alien world. But every year, scientists make discoveries about the ocean's depths that help to fill in parts of the puzzle, and this year was no exception. And let's say some of these discoveries are enough to give you goosebumps. From gigantic seamounts and the deepest dwelling fish to a scary underwater museum, here are 15 terrifying underwater discoveries that will send shivers down your spine. And trust us, you won't be able to look away. Number 15. Deepest dwelling fish ever. At 5 miles beneath the ocean's surface, pressure crushes most creatures like an empty soda can. But not these guys. In April, researchers sent an ROV deep into the Izu Ogasawara Trench near Japan, where they caught eerie footage of ghostly white snailfish swimming comfortably in the abyss. These gelatinous oddballs, likely part of the Pseudoleparus genus, were seen at 27,349 feet, officially making them the deepest dwelling fish ever recorded. Unlike typical fish, snailfish lack scales, replacing them with a goo-like coating that absorbs the immense pressure of the deep. Their bodies also contain unique proteins that prevent their cells from imploding. On the same expedition, scientists snagged 2 snailfish from a slightly shallower depth in the Japan Trench, making them the deepest fish ever captured. While most creatures would be obliterated at these depths, these slippery survivors prove that life finds a way, even in places no human could ever survive. Number 14. Baffling methane leak. Methane is supposed to stay trapped beneath the seafloor, but the Baltic Sea didn't get the memo. In August, researchers discovered a massive methane leak bubbling across 7.7 square miles, an area the size of 4,000 soccer fields. At 1,300 feet deep, this site was already unusual, but what baffled scientists was how high the methane bubbles rose. Normally, deep-sea methane dissolves into the water before reaching the surface. Here, the gas shot up to just 65 feet below the ocean's surface, a phenomenon never seen before. The source? Decaying organic matter on the seafloor. But the real mystery is why so much methane is escaping and why it's traveling so high. If this behavior is widespread, it could have massive implications for climate change, as methane is a greenhouse gas 80 times more potent than carbon dioxide. For now, the leak remains an unexplained anomaly, one that could rewrite what we know about oceanic methane emissions. Number 13. Giant mysterious eyeball. Beachcombing usually means collecting seashells and sea glass, not eyeballs the size of a softball. In the early 2010s, a massive disembodied eye washed ashore in Pompano Beach, Florida, sparking instant speculation. Was it from a giant squid? A deep-sea monster? Some Lovecraftian nightmare we weren't supposed to know about? Initially, marine biologists suspected the eye belonged to a large fish like a tuna, but further analysis revealed bones surrounding the optic tissue, ruling out squids and shifting suspicion towards something even bigger, a massive swordfish. While finding a single swordfish eyeball isn't exactly supernatural, the sight of it, perfectly intact and staring into the void, was enough to make beachgoers rethink their next swim. Whatever took this thing's eye out, let's hope it's not still lurking nearby. Number 12. The purple orb. Deep-sea discoveries often leave scientists scratching their heads, but few have been as bizarre as this shiny, gelatinous purple sphere found near California's Channel Islands. While exploring the ocean floor, the EV Nautilus research team stumbled upon a glowing, grape-sized orb that looked like something out of an alien movie. Even seasoned marine biologists had no idea what they were looking at. Initial studies suggested the orb could be a new species of sea slug, but nothing was certain. The deep ocean remains one of the least explored places on Earth, meaning creatures like this could be everywhere, or completely unique. With over 70% of Earth covered in water, the discovery of the purple orb is a pretty stark reminder of how much remains hidden beneath the salty waves. Thousands of unknown species could be down there, watching, waiting, existing in ways we haven't even begun to comprehend. Number 11. Jemchug Canyon. There are deep-sea trenches. Then there's Jemchug Canyon, a colossal underwater gorge in the Bering Sea that makes even the Grand Canyon look small. At 8,530 feet deep, Jemchug is the deepest ocean canyon on Earth, extending over 2,500 feet deeper than the Grand Canyon itself. Its sheer size is overwhelming, and despite multiple expeditions, much of it remains unexplored. The canyon teems with marine life adapted to the crushing darkness, giant squid, ghostly fish, and creatures that thrive in an environment more hostile than the surface of Mars. Few submersibles have dared to descend into its depths, and none have reached the very bottom. The sheer scale of Jemchug adds layers of difficulty that make full exploration an ongoing challenge. It may take years, even decades, before we truly understand what lurks within this abyss. Until then, its depths remain one of Earth's greatest and most haunting unknowns. Number 10. Cancun Underwater Museum. A gallery where the walls are made of water and the statues watch with blank, unblinking stares. The Cancun Underwater Museum isn't just an artistic marvel, it's an environmental statement designed to pull divers away from fragile coral reefs. Hundreds of sculptures rest beneath the surface, each depicting human figures in eerie stillness. Over time, the sea claims them, layering their faces with coral and turning them into artificial reefs. Some stand alone, some are gathered in groups, frozen in mid-conversation, while others sit slumped, staring lifelessly ahead. There's beauty in it, but also something undeniably haunting, an entire world lost beneath the waves. Fish weave through the empty eyes of stone faces, creating a scene that feels like an ancient civilization buried by time. While the museum was designed to save marine life, it also serves as a stark reminder of humanity's impact on the ocean. It's stunning, it's unsettling, and it lingers in the mind long after you leave. If you love the thrill in life, this place is it. Number 9. A Bag of Human Hands. Siberia, 2018. A fisherman walks along a snowy riverbank, the cold air biting at his skin. Then he sees it, a plastic bag, half buried in the frost. Inside, 54 severed human hands, neatly arranged, detached at the wrist, their origins unknown. News spread fast, igniting speculation that ranged from serial killers to the black market organ trade. The official explanation eventually arrived. These hands came from a medical lab and had been improperly disposed of. While that might explain why they were there, it does little to ease the discomfort of what they represent. Limbs don't just turn up in the wild. Even in a controlled environment, the sight of so many dismembered hands is deeply unsettling. Whether careless disposal or something darker, the discovery serves as a grim reminder that even the most chilling stories sometimes have explanations that feel just as disturbing as the mystery itself. All right, guys. Now let's talk about Number 8. The Yonaguni Monument. Off the coast of Japan's Yonaguni Island, massive stone structures rest beneath the waves, looking suspiciously like an ancient sunken city. The Yonaguni Monument, discovered in the 1980s, is a colossal rock formation that has divided scientists for decades. Its stair-like terraces, sharp edges, and geometric shapes make it easy to believe this was once a thriving civilization swallowed by the sea. Some researchers even claim to have found carvings on the rocks, further fueling theories of a lost city. But then there's the other side, the idea that this isn't man-made at all. Some geologists argue that natural forces sculpted the structure, that the ocean itself carved out this eerie resemblance to human architecture. If true, it's a chilling reminder that the sea has the power to erase entire civilizations, or create illusions of them. lost city, or natural oddity, the Yonaguni Monument remains one of the ocean's greatest unsolved riddles. Number 7. Christ of the Abyss. Some underwater sights evoke awe, others a creeping unease. Christ of the Abyss sits somewhere in between. Off the Italian coast, submerged beneath the waves, this massive bronze statue of Jesus stands with arms raised toward the surface. It was placed as a memorial to a diver who tragically drowned there, creating an eerie juxtaposition between peace and tragedy. For years, the sea worked its magic, covering the figure in corrosion, algae, and marine growth. By the early 2000s, its features had twisted into something haunting, an almost skeletal face frozen in decay. A restoration in 2003 cleaned it up, but even now, the sight of it emerging from the darkness of the ocean is enough to make any diver's pulse quicken. The human brain isn't wired to process something so grand, so ghostly, resting on the ocean floor. Whether sacred or unsettling, Christ of the Abyss is an unforgettable sight. And let's be real, isn't it? Number 6. The Great Blue Hole. A perfectly circular abyss in the middle of the ocean, surrounded by tropical paradise. It sounds inviting, until you realize what's inside. The Great Blue Hole, off the coast of Belize, is a 407-foot deep sinkhole that looks like something out of another world. The deeper you go, the more it feels like a descent into the unknown. Cavernous walls, eerie silence, and shadows that move just out of sight. Renowned explorer Jacques Cousteau ranked it among the world's top 5 dive sites, but this isn't just any underwater adventure. Lurking within its depths are bull sharks, reef sharks, and hammerheads, patrolling the crystal-clear waters like guardians of the abyss. Beyond the sharks, the hole contains submerged stalactites and massive cave systems, remnants from an era when sea levels were lower. It's beautiful, it's terrifying, and it's a stark reminder that nature doesn't just build wonders, it buries them too, without any kind of regret. Number 5. The Neptune Memorial Reef. Burial at sea usually means scattering ashes into the waves, but off the coast of Florida, the Neptune Memorial Reef takes that concept further, transforming cremated remains into an underwater city. This sprawling artificial reef is made from structures infused with human ashes, giving the departed a permanent place beneath the waves. Massive archways and columns create the illusion of a lost civilization, while marine life moves through its eerie ruins, unknowingly inhabiting the remains of those who once walked the earth. It's a hauntingly poetic concept, a final resting place that allows life to continue, where the dead become part of the ocean itself. Over time, the reef has grown, attracting not just fish and coral, but also divers looking to explore its unique, solemn beauty. A sanctuary for the living and the dead, the Neptune Memorial Reef ensures that some people never truly leave the sea. Now let's move to number 4, black smokestacks. The ocean floor isn't quiet. Off the Galapagos Islands, massive black plumes billow from the deep, rising like ghostly towers in the darkness. These hydrothermal vents, first discovered in 1976, aren't just cracks in the earth. They're underwater infernos spewing superheated water at 752 degrees Fahrenheit, hotter than your oven on full blast. Despite the extreme conditions, life thrives here in ways that shouldn't be possible. Giant tube worms, shrimp, and snails cling to the vents, feeding off bacteria that convert minerals into energy. No sunlight required. The black smoke isn't actually smoke, but a deadly cocktail of iron, sulfur, and heavy metals, turning the water into an inky, alien landscape. Some vents reach 200 feet tall, their chimneys endlessly coughing up darkness. It's a world so extreme, NASA studies it to understand how life could exist on other planets. Number 3, a village from the Stone Age. Some places aren't meant to be found. Off the coast of Israel, an ancient village sits untouched beneath the sea, frozen in time. Known as Atlit Yam, this Neolithic settlement, dating back nearly 9,000 years, is one of the oldest sunken villages ever discovered. It wasn't supposed to end this way. The village was thriving until something catastrophic happened. Some believe a volcanic eruption triggered a tsunami, swallowing it in minutes. Others think rising sea levels slowly pushed it underwater. Either way, its people vanished, leaving behind eerie remnants of their final moments. Piles of fish, stacked and ready for trade, were abandoned mid-transaction. Stone houses and ritual burial sites still stand, untouched by time. The skeletons found here hold an even stranger secret: some of the earliest known cases of tuberculosis. Disease, disaster, or both. Something erased this village, and it never came back. Number 2. The Orang Medan. A ship adrift, a distress call filled with cryptic terror, an entire crew lying dead, their bodies untouched, their faces twisted in unspeakable fear. The Orang Medan is one of the ocean's greatest unsolved mysteries. In the 1940s, the vessel was reportedly found in the Strait of Malacca after sending out an eerie final message, one that suggested its entire crew had died, and the sender would be next. When rescuers boarded, they found bodies sprawled across the ship, mouths open as if in a final scream, eyes wide with horror. No wounds, no blood, just frozen terror. Before any answers could be found, the ship mysteriously exploded and sank, taking its secrets with it. Theories range from toxic gases to supernatural forces, but without evidence, the truth remains as murky as the waters it disappeared into. The Orang Medan may be lost, but its legend refuses to sink. Number 1. Bimini Road. A perfectly arranged pathway, hidden just beneath the waves. Massive stones, lined up like remnants of an ancient highway, stretching toward the unknown. Bimini Road, found off the coast of the Bahamas, is one of the ocean's strangest formations. Some geologists argue it's simply a natural rock formation shaped by thousands of years of erosion, but others aren't so sure. The symmetry is uncanny. The stones seem deliberately placed as if they once formed part of something greater, perhaps even a lost city swallowed by the sea. Theories linking Bimini Road to Atlantis have persisted for decades, fueling speculation that this isn't just a natural wonder, but evidence of a forgotten civilization. The stones, estimated to be over 3,000 years old, remain a mystery. Whether a quirk of nature or an ancient relic, Bimini Road stands as a silent question beneath the waves, refusing to give up its secrets. If you find this video interesting, like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next one.